I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. I'm getting a lot of questions on Ramadan, and you know what? I never thought about it. So this will be my first religious video. Apparently with Ramadan, you can't eat from sunrise to sunset, but you can eat from sunset to sunrise, if I have that correct. Now this becomes a little difficult for people who are athletes, people who base their lives around eating and activity and recovery. So this is a little challenging. If this was a perfect world, meaning we didn't have to go to work, we didn't have to go to school, we didn't have responsibilities, so on and so forth. Here's what I would do, because you can only eat from sunset to sunrise. That limits the amount of time you can eat because you're going to be sleeping during that period as well. So what I would do is, because you can't change when you can eat, but you can change when you train, that's what I would do. I would either train early in the morning because you ate at night and you could possibly get up a little earlier, have something to eat, and then go train. So that way you've still got a relatively decent amount of food in you to supply energy. So if you trained in the morning, you wouldn't have to go all day without eating and then try to train. The other alternative is to train later on at night. So once the sun sets, you have something to eat, allow an hour or two to rest, digest your food, and generate a certain amount of energy, and then you go train. So those are probably the two most realistic suggestions. And of those two, I would prefer eating at night and then going to train, because I'm not a big trainer in the morning. I got no energy. That's what I would do. With regards to recovery and supplying the amount of food and maintaining your muscle mass and so on and so forth, if you can eat enough during sunset to sunrise or at night, you should be okay for however long Ramadan is, and I'm not quite sure. But probably the most important thing for not losing size and strength during this period is the training, because you can get enough calories at night to hang in there. But it's really the training that's going to make a difference. So if you can sneak in as much training as possible, and I realize it's hard with a wacky schedule and a low calorie intake, but if you can train as much and as hard as possible, you should be able to maintain your size and strength relatively well during this period. And that also might mean decreasing the volume of your training. And it also might mean decreasing or cutting out cardio as well, because you don't need to create a calorie deficit because you already are, because you're not eating during the day. And with regards to training, cutting down on the volume, meaning I would do less exercises and try to sneak in just as many heavy sets as necessary. So big bench, big incline bench, throw away the dumbbells. Standing barbell curls, dumbbell curls, cut out the third exercise for biceps. Maybe 2 or 3 back exercises instead of 4. So once you're warmed up, hit your exercises hard, hit your sets hard and heavy, but don't do tons and tons of sets and tons of exercises, because again, you're running on low fuel. So I hope that helps. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard.